You know what time it is. You're listening to the Urban Sports Scene. I'm Wole. I'm joined with my guy Ray Jeezy. What's going on, Ray?
Brother, bullets slash wizards. The history of it. I said wizards. The wizards. The bullet slash wizards history. Think about this. Calbert Cheney, Tom Gugliotta,
You the man. You the
Rip
man.
Hamilton,
You the man. You
John
the man.
Wall.
You the man. You the
Of
man.
course, the homie Brad. I said Juwan Howard already, right? I said him.
Uh,
Was he the
did you
first
say
name I
Jawan?
said?
You said
I didn't
Jawan?
say Juwan. Of course, Kwame. We don't want to mess with Kwame though. But the question tonight, Wole, is who's next? Wole, who's next on that list, bro? As notable draft picks in the bullet slash wizards organization that we've seen in our lifetime.
Who's next? That's a good question. Like, who's next? I don't
Hey,
know.
look,
A lot of people.
Rashid, that's a good one. I see you.
You know what I'm
Off the
saying?
rip.
Who's next? And a lot of people weren't happy after. After they weren't happy after yesterday. Before they was all geeked up. After yesterday, they were like, "Nah, son, nah, yeah, Rashid definitely, yeah,
Hey,
Rashid, yes
appreciate you on that
indeed,
one.
appreciate you." But yeah, a lot of folks weren't happy. But before we get into all that, we got to knock out some particulars. Hey, check out our website, which is www.urbansportsteam.com. That is the official website of the Urban Sports Team. You can also subscribe to our podcast on Spotify,
Damn.
Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, other podcast platforms. Just search the Urban Sports Team. If you're on YouTube right now and you're not subscribed to the Urban Sports Team YouTube channel, please hit that red subscribe button and also like this video. Also, don't forget to tweet us at Urban Sports Scene. Hit us up on IG and TikTok at Urban Sports Scene and like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. You can also join our Urban Sports Scene Facebook group. Just search Urban Sports Scene, sports bloggers, sports podcasters, and sports debates. All right, the homie Will T. We know used to say this all the time, so I'm gonna say it for him. Let's get in charge edition. The pregame. Here's what we have on tap. Washington Wizards reporter Troy Haliburton will join us to talk about the Wizards getting the sixth pick in the NBA draft. The sixth pick in the NBA draft. All right, Ray. First off, let me introduce our guy. Let me jump into the queue. What's going on? Hold on. Let me do this right. Ooh. What's going on, Troy?
Wole and Ray, my brothers, how y'all doing today? I'm glad
good.
I'm glad to be on and talking some Wizards basketball, even though it was a bleak last 24 hours for the fan base, man. Like I don't think like as somebody who's seen a lot of things happen to the Washington Wizards, we've seen the good, the bad, and yesterday had to be the ugliest I've seen from just the optimism for the Wizards.
Ooh, I ain't lying about that.
Troy, it's dope to have you on. It's like a throwback Tuesday type of moment for us because we had a lot of discussions in the past, and one name that came up back when you and I were at Capital One, Wole as well. We wanted Troy Weaver to be like the vice president of basketball operations back then, and you know Troy just left his organization and he's in New Orleans now, but he was the architect behind like the Detroit Pistons that finally found that success. We've seen teams like Detroit, these young teams, Houston, of course, that finally started to find it. You know, they had the right coaches. We'll get there later. But I think, in my humble opinion, Troy, this is the most important draft for Michael Winger and for our my guy, Will Dawkins. Do you agree with that? And what do you think that they need to do in order to make sure that they stay around with the Wizards organization?
Well, I believe it's their most important draft because it's the next available draft. Any opportunities they had to add, talented players to a roster that was very much depleted of talent, but that was a move that was done on purpose by Michael Winger and Will Dawkins. You know, when they took over as the president of basketball operations and GM respectively, you know, the first thing they did was to clear the decks. You know, and what Will Dawkins said, what he called his deconstruction phase. And so the deconstruction phase involved, you know, trading away Bradley Beal, trading away Kristaps Porzingis, trading away Kyle Kuzma, you know, getting those guys out of there and then bringing in a whole crop of new young players. And so with the Wizards right now, you know, their next step has got to be their best step because you know, they didn't have the opportunity to get that top 1 or 2 pick. So that means that they're going to really have to earn their keep, you know, coming up with the scouting department and trying to figure out who's going to be the best player to pick with the number 6 pick.
See, I like that. I feel like you use a TI type of analogy right there. You know what I'm saying? Your next step, your best step. Make your next move your best move.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? I'm hip, Troy. I'm hip. I see what you did there. So obviously talking about the scouting department got to do their job. With the 6, obviously folks wanted Cooper Flagg. He was the top player. You had Ace Bailey. These are guys, Dylan Harper. These are guys that everybody's been talking about throughout the college basketball season. And being at the 6th spot doesn't look like that can happen for the Wizards. But for you, at the 6th spot, do you feel like the Wizards can get a franchise player with that 6th spot? Knowing this has been a deep draft, supposedly this is a real deep draft.
I think that there are some potential players who could be there at the 6th spot who could turn into future All-Stars.
I got you.
One of them being the most talented player I think that could possibly be available. I don't know if he'll fall to 6, but I really like Trey Johnson from University of Texas. I think he's a very smooth scoring 2 guard who has a lot of skills that will translate from the college game to the NBA game. And so, I really think that, he has the potential to be an NBA All-Star someday. I think after that, it gets kind of dicey as far as guys who could be potential All-Stars. Yeah. But I do believe that there'll be some quality players there for them to take. And like I said, they got to make this next step their best step. So they just got to get somebody who can come in and help contribute right away.
And well, what my man Cam said. Cam said, what Wizards basically tank for no reason this season. Do you agree with this?
Hey, shout out to my brother Cameron Mingo. I definitely think that, I was saying to somebody the other day that, that 82 game season really didn't mean anything compared to that 15 minutes in that ping pong ball room. Like, and that the fifth, it really honestly does feel like that 15 minutes, was weighted way more heavily than what anything the Wizards did over the course of the 82 game season.
Do you believe like everybody, because the Dallas Mavericks got Cooper Flagg? Do you feel like it was rigged?
It definitely wasn't rigged because I've already talked to some people who were actually in the room, and they said that you could cut the tension with the knife in the room. So it couldn't have been rigged because they said Daryl Morey in there sweating bullets because he thought that he lost his pick. Sam Presti wasn't even supposed to be there. He thought he was getting a pick. It was like it was levels. It was like a roller coaster of emotions in that room. So and just the way that everybody described how the ping pong balls come out, and they basically do it in number combinations. So everybody is just scrambling, looking at their sheets, trying to see if they got the right combinations to come up. And it just so happens that the Wizards were once again one ping pong ball away from a combination that would have given them the number 1 pick.
Alexander Wilson said, I think the Wizards are going to draft Trey Johnson, who you referred to, Troy, or Jeremiah Fears. Your thoughts?
I like Jeremiah Fears. I think so really to me, I think that the Wizards front office is going into this wanting to decide and draft the best available player. And I like Jeremiah Fears. And I do think that there is somewhat of an overlap there between, he and Jordan Poole. Their games are very similar. But then again, I think to realize that, Jordan Poole only has 2 years left on his deal. And then you have to start, asking questions and wondering if he's going to be involved in the long-term plans of this franchise. So I wouldn't not draft a player purely based on having Jordan Poole there. But I do think that there is a little bit of overlap or redundancy there between the skill sets of Jordan Poole and Jeremiah Fears.
I mean, you open the door. Do you think Jordan Poole factors into all this, like in terms of the long run for this team?
Hey
man,
I guess if I alluded to it, I guess I should have my answer ready. If I were a betting man, a predicted man, I don't think that Jordan Poole is in the cards for the future of this franchise beyond what his contract currently is.
Okay. I mean, I'm not. Go ahead, Ray.
Oh no, I was laughing at what you said.
I'm saying. I'm not saying they trying to get rid of the man.
No, I got you.
I just don't think that that they view him as their point guard of the future.
Oh, absolutely not. Trey Johnson is somebody who's going to grow into his body as time goes on, and that will happen. Jason Tatum did it. Many other players they got physically strong in the league. But you know who I like, though? For real, they could trade back. And that's Derek Queen out of Maryland. And I know they got a big front line already, but I feel like I'm an old school basketball guy. I'm not into trying to build your team like Golden State. I know Trey Johnson can shoot the heck out the ball. He's athletic. But I'm saying when you got teams like what we're seeing in the playoffs now, like the Denvers of the world, OKC, these teams are big. Even Houston, the pieces they added, I think you add a young guy who's versatile, who's big, and you pair him with Sarr, and I think that they can both develop those outside shots in the NBA. I think that's a good look for the Wiz, but I respect everybody's opinion because the number 6 spot is not the greatest spot to pick, as you already pointed out so eloquently, Troy. But my question real quick for you is, what do you think about Brian Keefe as a player development guy? We talked about Scott Brooks years ago. He was known for that. Didn't quite work out here, as we know. But what do you think about Keefe, whoever they draft, young group, which has a lot of talent?
So I like what Brian Keefe did this past season. If you're looking at, not just from the coaching standpoint, not from just wins and losses. If you look at the fact that they had 3 first-round draft picks last year, adding in AJ Johnson at the halfway point as basically as a 4th first-round draft pick, and for them to come out of this season feeling confident that they have 4 NBA players, like I think that is a testament to what Brian Keefe was able to do as far as, just the development aspect. And, I really think that it goes just beyond what Keefe is able to do with the coaching staff. They need, veteran presence in that locker room too, so that these guys can understand how to be professionals. And I think that was one of the reasons why, that they had to get that man Kuzma up out of there.
Yes,
because what his goals were did not align with the development of what the young players were trying to do. And as you saw, after they traded him, that Bilal Coulibaly's game took off. Keyshawn George's game took off.
It did.
And so, so when I think about what Brian Keefe did last year, like I said, I'm not looking at the wins and losses. I'm looking at, what he was able to do as far as getting those young players ready to play NBA basketball. And I think that everybody at the end of the season felt confident that they had 4 NBA players.
Troy, that is crazy. My bad, real quick.
Go.
Now we all seen shooting guards, so we know what bad veterans can do in the locker room. You seen the doc with Gil, and it's crazy how Nick Young looked back like it was fun, but dang, it wasn't fun at the same time.
Come on now, exactly. And Nick Young and Gilbert Arenas are still cool to this day. Okay. But who's to tell what type of player Nick Young could have become if he didn't have Gilbert Arenas as his big homie, as his vet, just doing all types of crazy stuff. Like, that documentary barely scratched the surface of some of the stuff that Gilbert was doing. If they knew all the stuff that Gilbert was doing, people would be like, with the pitchforks out back at Gilbert's house. Like, yo, what's wrong with this man?
Yeah. You ain't lying. Gil was, you know what? We're not snitching on him, but Gil's wild.
Exactly.
I know we're not. That's what I said. Yeah.
They barely scratched the surface with some of the tomfoolery and stuff that he was doing. And so, the Wizards, they don't want to put themselves in that position again where they have bad veteran leadership helping influence these young players. Because like these guys we have are a ball of clay, and we're gonna be able to mold them into whatever it is that we want at this point. So I'm happy with what Keefe has done. I'm happy with them going out and getting good veteran leadership like Chris Middleton and Marcus Smart, guys who can come in and help show those young guys how to be professionals.
No, I agree. I think he's doing. I mean, I've said this before. I think that he's doing a great job with nurturing the young players. I think that's very important. Like where this team is set up, they're not set up to win basketball games, like to win a bunch of games. They're set up to kind of cultivate and develop growth with the young players. And I felt like all the dudes that you mentioned have grown throughout this season. Alex Sarr in the beginning of the season, what people were talking about, and look how he finished the season. You know what I mean? Now it's like went from a total bust to a guy that now everybody thinks has promise. You know what I mean? Like. He's done a great job in terms of building the young guys on that squad. So I think he deserves a lot of credit. It's not like they're giving him a winner. And one thing you did say, Troy, if I go right back to you, that I did like too, is like in this draft, whoever they do draft with the 6th spot, it shouldn't be like like it shouldn't like say Jordan, you're happy with Jordan Poole and what he's doing. I'm using him as an example because he's like the vet star on the squad, right? It shouldn't be like we can't draft this player because of Jordan Poole. Like it shouldn't be that
exactly. Or even I would go the reverse of that. I've seen a lot of people on Wizards Twitter saying, "Oh, we should draft Derek Quinn because he fits next to Alex Sarr." I would want them to draft Derek Quinn because he's the best possible player available. We shouldn't be drafting the fit players next to players or stuff. We should be drafting to get the most talent that we could get, and we'll be able to figure it all out once we get the talent in it. But we're working with a serious deficit right now as far as talent across the league. You know, you're looking at these teams that are left in the NBA playoffs, like a team like Indiana. You know, a guy like Thomas Bryant who was here starting, he's like their 12th man. You know, so we got to get our talent up before we can even think about trying to compete with some of these other teams.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. That's something that that's something I wanted like for the Wizards. Just like don't look at like this position, this player, and say we can't draft this player because of that. If that player is the best available player, like you said, you got to get him. And we've seen this with other organizations, though. That's what a lot of these teams are doing now, especially if you're not one of the mid-level playoff teams or a team that's has an opportunity to go to the playoffs. You take the best player available. I feel like that was OKC was doing that. Like you take the best player available.
Yeah, no, I think that's obviously the best strategy for where the Wizards are right now. And you know, we start looking at some more names as the best player available at that 6th spot. One of the names that I brought up that was not that well received was Con Knippel out of Duke.
Dude,
I think
go ahead, talk about him.
So I like Con Knippel, but some people were like, "Oh, we shouldn't draft him because we got Kispert already on the roster." He might be Kispert's replacement. He might be what we actually expected out of Corey Kispert.
Yeah,
and you know, I like Con Knippel a lot. I think that you know he's a movement shooter who has great positional size, and he has a great feel for the game. You know, he's a ball mover, not a ball stopper. And you know, with him playing on that Duke team that was stacked with like 4 or 5 NBA players on it, he still was able to rise to the to be the second best player on that team. And so, you know, I think that he'd be a great option for the Wizards to be able to pick up at 6.
Alexander Wilson, what about the center for Duke?
I like Maluak. I think that he is a lot more raw as far as his offensive skill set. And so it probably would take him a year or two to be able to adjust to the NBA game, if I'm being honest. But I think that he's young enough and he has some physical tools and traits that you just can't teach. You know, he's 7'2" with a 7'4" wingspan, and the man can almost touch the rim standing on his tippy toes. Like, yeah, that's the type of size that you can't teach. And so I think that would be, if they were to, take a swing with that selection, I think that it would put a lot of pressure on Brian Keefe and the staff to be able to accelerate the developmental process.
Yeah, Paul has a guy that I like. Ray knows this because I saw when I watched him in Florida. I was like, this dude can ball for real. William Clayton Jr. I know he'll be later on. He can't get him at 6. It'd be a waste to get him at 6.
Hey, Paul, man, you got. Let me know whatever it is that you sipping on. If you thinking they're gonna trade a Thompson twin for Jordan Poole. Let me know what store do I go to get that?
Hey, Jordan Poole is. I'm with you. Look, man. People think I be hating on Jordan Poole, and I don't, because I do acknowledge like some type of growth.
This not about Jordan Poole. Like this is what you trying to the Thompson twins are like awesome. Like I'm hanging up. Like you call me, ask me about one of them. We can't even talk anymore. I'm hanging up.
And they play winter basketball. Let me put it that way. I think that's the easiest way for me to say it without being dirty.
They old school. They play
winter basketball, bro.
They play tough, hard-nosed basketball, and their athleticism. When you could be in the NBA, when you're amongst some of the best athletes in the world, and you still stand out as an elite athlete amongst elite athletes, then you're doing something different.
Yeah, but the Pistons may need a score, but not that type of score. I'm gonna be real with you. Not that type of score.
You don't want the Barry Bonds type of score.
Bro.
He's gonna help the culture. See, we talking about
you need somebody. Come on, bro. I know you played ball in Michigan. I know he went to the University of Michigan, but now you don't want. Jordan Poole is fine. We
don't want to pick up. You know he's probably one of the best in the gym. You picking your foul. You like, Nah. I'm
good.
Yeah.
Give me Haliburton. Give me Troy Haliburton. I don't need Jordan Poole in my squad.
Exactly.
Man. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
I know I'm gonna get the ball. Well, I know I'm gonna get the ball.
I know I'm gonna get the ball. I know I'm good.
No,
I'm
hey, look,
touches.
come on, we gotta move that route.
Exactly. I'm gonna get my touches. I need to get my touches.
Well, they be like swinging, he yelling. Hey, but Troy, when you think about culture and what Will Dawkins is trying to build here, Michael Wing, of course, you got these other teams, these young up-and-coming squads that have like Udoka on the bench, Bickerstaff. Again, we mentioned Keith. You mentioned how Keith is solid. Wole, he gave you the stamp of approval on that. So what type of veterans are you going to pair with this young group? You know, KD is now, his name is coming back up. We eliminated KD a long time ago, but now, of course, people making a U-turn like, okay, KD might come back home. But what veterans do you think, like Houston has a guy like Steven Adams, what veterans would you pair with this young group if you were the GM?
Shit, man, I actually really like the two veterans that they got. I like the fact that Marcus Smart and Chris Middleton are two guys who have been through, you know, almost everything that you can possibly think of as far as NBA careers. Chris Middleton is a guy who was a former second-round pick, who was waived and early in his career, and then traded from Detroit. He was a throw-in the trade from Detroit to Milwaukee, and then ended up, you know, having what will amount to be a borderline Hall of Fame career. So, like, you know, I think that I would much rather have a guy like Chris Middleton, who has played at the highest of levels, and as a guy who could be in that locker room. I would prefer somebody like that over bringing Anthony Gill back for, you know, another year. He's you know, I shout out to Anthony Gill. He's a great dude, but like you can't have like he in the same spot. He competing with these dudes. Like he hasn't exceeded, you know, his level to a level in his career where they could be like, oh yeah, that's an example of somebody, you know, I want to be. Like, he's a great guy.
Yeah,
and you know, I think that he exemplifies great character. But to me, you need to have somebody like Chris Middleton or Marcus Smart, who's been traded, you know, a few times now, and has had, but he's played in, you know, conference championship games. He's played in, you know, big playoff games, and these guys are going to be able to sit down with the young guys and help them through their frustration with, you know, being out the rotation, or help them, you know, when they get frustrated, when the coach is yelling at them or something like that. We need to have guys who've actually been in the NBA and played at the highest of levels, who can teach these young guys.
Anthony Gill, honorary Wizards veteran babysitter.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, it's like, you know, I love Gill, and I think that he was good for, you know, when they had the team where they still had Brad and those guys, and I think they needed a sensible voice in the locker room. But right now, you know, I honestly, if Anthony Gill is on next year's team, then I think that means that they're still in a major talent deficit.
I think you know what's funny about, I'm gonna say this real quick about Anthony Gill, because when I look at him, I'm not gonna lie, this is the truth. I don't look at him as a player. I look at him as a coach. I think they should just put him on the staff.
I mean, I think he would have a spot.
That's not an insult. That's not
an insult. And he been in the league for like 4 or 5 years now. You know, like that's he done earned enough money to take care of him and his family. Yeah. He can continue to earn as a coach, but you know, that's just one of those things to me that if he's on the roster next year, then you are like, you don't gotta ask what their objective for the season is. If he's on the roster next year,
he's too young to be that old. Like, he played with Malcolm Brogdon.
Exactly.
But he look old though. I ain't gonna hold you. He look old the way he played.
We gotta bring back the Rose Bar. We need fans in the stands. We need people watching. We need Steve Buckhands back. Nobody's watching the Wizards. We gotta get winning. Isn't just enough. We need entertainment. And Anthony Gill is not that. And some of these Marcus Smart, you know, he will crash out still at this age.
He will definitely crash out. So I got a question for you guys then. So, like, I think the biggest thing after the disappointment from yesterday's the lottery, what can the Wizards fans expect going into next season? Like, because my thing is, I don't know if Taylor Youngsters has the stomach to go through another season like we did for them to end up with the 6th pick. Like that, like those two things. If we gonna be, we can't do this again. When we go through a whole season where we go, we winning 10 to 15 games and end up with a number 5 or number 6 pick. Like that's just not adding up. It doesn't compute to me. And so at some point they're gonna have to try to put their best foot forward. And I wondered, do you guys think that next year is going to be the year?
Nah, it won't.
Okay, yeah.
I'm keeping
with no hesitation.
Hey, Troy, you see that roster? You see the roster, right?
Yeah, and you know what? It's not even as much so as about the roster. Yeah. It is because they don't really have as much talent, and they don't really have a lot of big men. Mm-hmm. But my biggest thing is like, what are they going to be able to do? How can you sell another year like that to the fan base, knowing that that there's like the light at the end of the tunnel used to be, we're trying to capture the flag.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you lose all those games and you still don't have no chance of getting Cooper Flagg, then I think that at some point we got to reevaluate the strategy.
Well, if you want to do a marketing approach to bring some type of flash to it, it'd be something that Ray said, like. And it sounds funny, but for real, like if KD out there ain't thinking about it, that's the only kind of move. But at the end of the day, for real, this team ain't capable as constructed because a lot of the players, to your point, are trade bait. For instance, Corey Kispert is going to be traded next year, and I know, and I feel confident saying that he will be traded eventually next year because he's a player.
Hopefully, Lord willing.
I feel like because he fits. I feel like his style of play fits a team that's. For a role player, there's a team that's in contention who needs to shoot. I think he fits that type of player. He shouldn't be on a bad team. He's not a player that should be on a bad team.
I like my shooters to hit shots.
Yeah, I know he was off this year. That's a fact. I
like my shooters to hit shots.
I'm with you. I'm with you. But I feel like he's not a player. They can't rely on him. He's not a reliable. You can't rely on that type of player for this team. They need a player they can rely on. They're going to trade Corey Kispert. He's the role.
I do believe that it will be true. I think that, especially when you look at the type of contract that they signed him to, it's essentially like the same thing they gave Denny. And it's still, truth be told, that trade is still kind of up in the air because Denny kind of blew up last season. But I love Bub Carrington, and he was a direct result from that trade. So, but the thing is, I think that what you got to start looking at what the Wizards are doing is about what fits the Wizards timeline.
Facts.
So when you had Denny Avdia, he doesn't really fit the same timeline as having those three first round draft picks.
Agreed.
So you got those three guys, those 3 first round draft picks who are on those rookie deals, and so they're not going to be up for extensions until 2028. So, by that time, by 2028, Corey Kispert going to be, 27, 28 years old. So that might not even be on the same timeline. So that's a good call, Wole. Like, I think that, if I'm Corey Kispert's agent, I would be, keeping him on standby for leading up to the NBA draft.
And also, like, players, I know you like keeping vets, but like a player like Marcus Smart, like we're talking about trying to sell the fan base. If you can find a way to play Marcus Smart, because he has true value if you play him, because his style of basketball, if you play him and he provides value, you may be able to sneak out maybe a late first round valuable kind of pick. And that too will entice this fan base. Say, we got a number 1, we got a first round pick. You got to bring something to the table in terms of trades to hype this team up, because it ain't gonna happen on the court. I'm keeping the bean to y'all Wizards fans. It ain't gonna happen on the court. Like, the excitement ain't gonna happen on the court.
I think for hoop heads, we like the young talent. Like I like the upside of Star. You heard Randall Childress Star. That's his guy. We got some young talent on this Wizards team. It's just
there's young talent
entertainment value though. With selling tickets.
Nah, that Clippers 2. Not Clippers 2 point. Which one? Not the Lamar Odom, Corey Maggette type.
Nah, you talk about the Clippers. After you talk about the Clippers right now,
because that I would still say the Lamar Corey Maggette potential over this right. So
you talking about Dirk?
I'll take the Dirk. I'll take them over this. Anytime, as bad as they were,
Quentin Richardson,
as bad as their records were, I still take that squad over this squad anytime of the week.
It's gonna be interesting to see what they do.
What's how I say?
You got to bring back Dream, Love, Rosebud.
We got to get Bird Nightclub.
Love all ages.
Yeah.
And then with the X's on your wrist, look.
Hey. Cam said, "We're still good. Still got good young talent. Sorry, Carrington, George, Bilal, AJ. I like AJ Johnson a lot too.
I like AJ Johnson too. And look,
that's a hardcore fan for you right there. But selling tickets though, I don't know.
But and so the other big thing, so you got that's 4 rookies from last year.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna add 2 rookies this year because people forget that we got the 18th pick, which is a great trade that they did at the deadline when they acquired Marcus Smart. When they made that trade, that pick was the 27th pick. By the end of the season, you know, they ended up with the 14th, with the 18th pick.
Mm-hmm. So true. Hey, what's up, Lou on Instagram? I was supposed to say what's up to Lou. But yeah, also I'm gonna ask you this question, Troy. In terms of possible players, and realistic too, not like players that people think they're gonna actually drop. Realistic players at the 6th spot. Is there anybody who could start off the rip for the Wizards?
I believe. I think Trey could start off the rip, but I actually don't know because I think that they will probably start Bub and Jordan. So it will be tough. That's actually tough. I actually don't know if there's a player at 6 that they could get that would start off the beginning of the season.
So basically, if they had got the top 3 pick, they would have started. Obviously, they would have started Flagg and probably Ace Bailey, right?
Well, well, look, I don't know if you're familiar with my Ace Bailey take.
I know I'm here. Remember that Taj? I did it for you because Taj is out here.
I
threw it up there for you. I threw it up there.
Shout out to the good brother Taj Wilson, man. Look. Hey, so I don't know if you were familiar with my Ace Bailey takes, but I think that. There are a lot of people around the NBA right now who are even thinking, are the Sixers going to be taking him with that number 3 pick?
Yeah.
To me, I think that he is a project as a player. A lot of people think that he's a future NBA All-Star. To me, I don't see it as an All-Star. I think that he could be a good NBA player, but you cannot be a future NBA All-Star if you cannot elevate the play of those around you.
There you go. You said
and the man had twice as many turnovers as he did assists last year on a Rutgers team that won like 14 games.
Yeah.
Like to me, you have to look at what people do in the NCAA and use that as an indicator for what they could do as a future prospectus. And to think that he's anything but a ball stopper at the next level. So he played one way at college, but he's going to all of a sudden play a different way in the NBA against bigger and better athletes. And they say he only 6'7", not 6'10".
That's wild. That's wild.
I think. Hey, look, and honestly, let's. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Don't be surprised if he fall, and he might be an option that the Wizards might have at 6.
Yeah.
Then you looking at him at 6, then it's a whole different thing.
Yeah. Even though he said if he falls to 6, you have to take him.
You have to take him.
You got to.
If he falls to 6, he's the pick.
Yeah. He's the pick, definitely.
I like him. I like his talent, but you're right in terms of fit. But you said earlier though, it's not about fit. It's about taking the best player. So
it's about taking the best. And if he fall to 6, then he lit. Yes.
I heard Harper got like character issues that concern some NBA teams, so he could fall himself. Although he getting that James Harden comparison, I think it's hard to pass up on him. But at the same time, go ahead.
No, I want to say something that I want to do. I want to piggyback on something Troy said because it's valid. Okay. Like this is the issue I've had too. Both with Dylan, I like Dylan Harper and I like the talent. I like their talent. They are talented players. Yeah, but there is something that I do have to mark. Like I agree with Troy wholeheartedly. You have 2 players that are lottery picks, and your team is trash. That says a lot. Like you can't get your team to the tournament. Like forget being. I'm not saying you got to win it all. I'm not saying it. You don't got to be a Melo. You ain't got to be a Kevin Durant. But James Harden, his freshman year took Arizona State to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, to characterize what they did last year, Rutgers, as anything other than a disappointment is not being truthful. Like
exactly,
it was a disappointment.
Yeah.
And so, but that doesn't mean like I think that the way that the NCAA is shaping up now, it also could get kind of tricky and funny too. So
true.
The way that when you look at the Final Four where you had all those teams where them guys that the average age the Houston Cougars was older than OKC. those guys were. I think they had a coaching problem last year. But like I said, but with Dylan Harper, at least he was still able to elevate Ace's game, elevate others around him. For me, Ace Bailey, to you to have more turnovers than assists on a season in college, like to me, it's just an indicator of a guy who's not moving the basketball.
No, I didn't have anything to say really, except that's why this number 6 pick. That's why it sucks. Because like Dylan Harper, like for real, like Dylan Harper, I would pay to see Dylan Harper play if the Wizards were able to draft him. But it's like you don't know who they're going to pick because we don't know who's going to be there, and it's a bad spot to be in.
It is.
And considering the season they had for this, I would have rather see them push for that play-in tournament, even though a lot of people were tired of that as well. But still,
I mean, honestly though, but shoot. Like, but the thing is, the Wizards, we got such bad luck when we were in the 7, 8, 9 spots, and everybody, we got people jumping all over top of us. Then when we finished, 1, 2, 3 spots, then we still got people jumping over top of us. So it's like it's not them, it's us. Like
it's not them, it's us.
It's us. Like it's clearly something wrong. But I do want to see them try to be more competitive next year. But the only problem with that is that they still got this first-round draft pick that's hanging over their heads. That's owed to the pick now is owed to the New York Knicks, but it was originally a part of the John Wall, Russell Westbrook trade. That trade was John Wall and a first-round pick for Westbrook. But the thing is, they put so many protections on the pick that the protections just kept rolling forward. And now next year is the last year for that. So I believe it's top 8 protections on that pick. So that means that the Wizards, no matter they in order for them to keep their first round draft pick, they got to finish within the top 8 in the lottery.
Oh, it's cool. They save.
Wow.
They
save. What we doing here? They save.
Look, I would assume that they'll probably be safe too. That they will get that pick.
Look, man. Look, at the end of the day. At the end of the day, like they're led by Jordan Poole. Take that how you want to take it.
Taj, and Wole, all of us, man. We having flashbacks to Tom Hammonds and Never Nervous in them days where nobody's showing up, nobody wanted to watch it. It was bad basketball. It took like the Juwan Howard, Chris Webber splash to get us watching again. And the franchise, to me, from a trajectory standpoint, has been kind of trending upwards for the most part since then. It hasn't been horrible since like the late 90s. Michael Adams make an all-star game, we celebrate. I don't want it to be like that no more. I want to see winning basketball, but not just winning basketball, entertaining basketball. And right now, y'all not helping me right now.
The last 2 seasons have been rough. I'm not gonna lie. They've been rough. It's been rough for people covering the team,
bruh.
It's been rough because you're trying to manufacture storylines.
What? Troy, tell it. They preach.
So it's been rough, but I do think that with them at least having a young core that at least gives them a natural inborn storyline where they can say, okay, look at the young players, let's see if they can continue to grow and develop. Like I'm very curious to see if a guy like Bilal Coulibaly can take that. We don't need a step from him, we need a leap from him.
I agree.
We
need him to take a leap.
Yeah. To be honest, that's what they thought his ceiling was when they drafted.
He got a lot of potential. I do like Bilal, but
he has a lot of potential, but I think he needs to be a lot more assertive on the offensive end and really just trying to score the basketball. He need to take advantage of his athleticism, like he a Thompson twin. Go out and start dunking on people's heads. Yeah. He take the ball to the rack. He got the finish. He got the nice lays and stuff. But like I said, like he need to take advantage of his physical traits and assert his dominance in a way that use his athleticism that can help benefit the team.
Taj, I agree with that. I mean, Troy, I agree with that. But you know what I want to say to that though? You know what? I think that the issue with him is that he's and I feel like I'm piling on dude, but it's like because you're playing with Jordan Poole, and like you have a dude that's ball dominant who has the ball. He needs to. It's almost. He has to do what Milwaukee did with Giannis. They said, yo, you're going to have, like they said, Giannis, we're giving you the ball. You do the work. That's when Jason Kidd moved Giannis to like a point forward and said, you do the work. You set everybody up. He's gonna have to be a coach is gonna have to instill that in him to say, hey, go ahead, go work.
But you know what though? I think that there were opportunities and times last year where they tried to kind of steer him towards that direction. But I don't think his ball handling is at the level where he's ready to take on, those type of responsibilities on his plate. Like I say, I think it's a developmental thing. Like, I think we gotta, before we can start, having him snake dribble out the pick and roll, we need to have him being able to identify, where he's at on the court, being able to identify the back screens, being able to do all the right things. And let's get the basics down first. Then we'll start with the snake dribble, and then we'll start letting you run some pick and rolls, and do things of that nature. I think it's a step-by-step, incremental based process.
Yeah, there's a lot more. You need to work on getting that shot up quicker too. It's too set right now. Off the dribble shot. It's got a little better, but he can work on a little bit more. Not an overhyped Gerald Wilkins, bro.
That's like, come on, that's disrespectful.
That's nasty work, Todd.
That's nasty Gerald Wilkins is crazy.
That's nasty work, bro. Ray, go ahead. You wanted to say something, bro.
I'm just saying, I'll take Austin Reeves. I know Wole, your Lakers are looking to ship him out. We can send Jordan Poole there. Gabe Vincent was a disappointment. Jordan Poole can fill that role with the Lakers. We'll take Austin Reeves.
No, I don't want that. That's not championship basketball.
Hey, Ray. I think that's being optimistic. I don't think the Lakers is trading.
Exactly. I'm about to say the same thing.
I think
I'm only drinking water. I'm just drinking water, Troy.
I think they might hang up on us for that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, with the Danny set up, Bilal needs to be aggressive like Lido Eccles. Y'all are tripping. Y'all on some old school shit.
Come on now, get Bernard. Bernard was he dropped 40 on you without even moving, baby.
Bernard Hopkins. Bernard King. Yeah.
Not Liddell.
Liddell. Hey, shout out to Liddell Eccles though. We ain't gonna disrespect my man Liddell.
Liddell's like that. Oh man, I told folks all the time. I grew up with no cable, and when I saw this dude play basketball, I swore he's one of the best basketball players.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Home team sports, homie. Let's go. That's what I said. We gotta bring it back. Get them free tickets out. Let the schools come up there, do something. Nobody wants Ice Spice. Jordan Poole. Somebody wants Jordan Poole.
Nobody wants Ice Spice. That's crazy. hey, actually, you know what though? That's not necessarily true either, Darren. I will say that Jordan Poole did elicit a couple trade inquiries coming into last season. I think that they had some opportunities to try to get up off of him, but I think that teams were trying to fleece the Wizards. They're trying to offer. They're garbage players and trying to get Jordan Poole. So I do think that there is a market for Jordan Poole. I don't think he's definitely not on the Kyle Kuzma level where, they could just take whatever they could get. Like, I think if they were, they're not going to just trade Jordan Poole for anything. They if they were to move him, it would be for a very well-selected package of players.
All right, we got my man Ellison. What's up? Ellison says, people are not going to like this, but they should draft Igor Denham. Denham, a big point guard that can run an offense and grow with the young core perimeter players.
Ooh, bro.
I like Igor. I don't think that he is going to be drafted that high.
Yeah, exactly.
I think he actually might be closer in that range of that 18 pick. I think that, for me, the range that I think that he'll probably go is probably somewhere between like 12 and 16. And so if you're looking at him on draft night where they have that 18th pick, I saw something earlier today where, in the first 2 years, Will Dawkins has moved up in the draft in both his drafts.
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe there'd be an opportunity for them to take that 18th pick and try to move up to like 12 or 13 and try to get Igor Denham there. But I don't think he's a player that will be in that range for the number 6 pick.
So
he's slated to go 12 in the mock drafts. Go ahead, Wally.
That's the exact range that I think that that he will probably be in.
Do you think they would consider trading that 6th pick?
No. Okay. I think that
So
basically what this new what the front office is doing, they have a philosophy and what they're trying to do to rebuild. and that philosophy requires them to hold on to all draft capital.
Okay.
So they're not in a position. They're acquiring draft capital, not moving out of draft capital. Gotcha. And so, if you mean trade the 6th pick to move up to get another,
or move back to get more picks.
No, moving back, no.
Yeah, not for a player. I'm not trying.
They're trading the 6th. No, definitely not for a player. Like
not for a
player. Their strategy is to acquire as many good draft assets as possible and draft well. That's the formula.
Yeah, I was thinking like, all right. I mean, you think they can draft? Who can they package to draft up to go up with the 6th pick? Could they do it? Is it possible?
I mean, look, somebody may take Kisper in that 18 pick.
Nah,
we ain't gonna do that. Nah, that's definitely not happening. Oh, now they try to offer Bilal, which they wouldn't do. Maybe they can move up a little bit if they want to.
Untouchable. Bilal's untouchable. I even think
well, Ellison, you ain't gotta worry about them drafting Edgecombe because he's not falling to 6. I promise.
He's not. He's not falling.
That's there. You don't have to worry about that one.
He ain't falling. Yeah. All right, man. Hey, Troy, man, it's been good having you on, man. We gotta do this again, bro.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, no, we definitely gotta do it. Hey, look, I'm gonna be out there covering some Mystic stuff too. So look, I don't know if y'all can be on the ladies this summer, but I'm gonna be down there at the ESA, trying to watch some Mystics games. Ray, man, I'm gonna try to catch you at some more Howard games, man.
I know. Morehouse
it's looking rough after my boy Blake Harper transferred, man.
When Morehouse beat Howard, I was looking for you. You ain't represent, bro. And Bowie beat Howard. I was like, dang, where Troy at?
I know. I look, man. I was like I said, I was real busy this past year, but this next upcoming year, I'm on top of it on the Howard hoops, man. I got to cover my man Bryce Harris his senior campaign.
Be real, my excitement level for the Mystics is higher than it is for the Wiz, to be honest. Like Shakir Austin, Leah Edwards. I think Leah Edwards is so talented, bro. And I like what they did in the draft. It's unfortunate, the injury to Georgia Amore, but I feel as though they got a little mob. I think they're gonna be interested to watch this upcoming season. Don't look out for the Mystics.
Yeah, I think they're in a very similar position to where the Wizards are right now. They got a lot of young players. They got the youngest team in the WNBA right now, and so be on the lookout for Sonia Citron. Though that's a name that I think all Mystics fans need to get familiar with. Yeah, she's a hooper. I'm a fan.
I like it. I like their young talent. The Wizards' young talent to me is not as exciting from a basketball perspective. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, maybe because of Leah Edwards. I just feel Leah Edwards is so vicious. Like Troy, I remember after they drafted Leah Edwards, you were like, from a marketing perspective, Angel Reese made sense, but from a basketball perspective, Leah Edwards made sense. And
exactly. And you know what? I think that over the course of the season, if you look at what Aaliyah Edwards could do, she's a completely different basketball player than what Angel Reese is. Angel Reese down there on the block, like, you know what I'm saying? She but don't let her shoot anything outside the paint almost. But Aaliyah Edwards, she got a little wiggle to her game where she could stretch out to the 3-point line and really put pressure on the defense in ways that I don't think that Angel Reese will be capable of.
I agree, my brother. See, that's why we do this.
Hey, look, come on, we tapped in, right?
Shout out to Shakira Austin.
Shout out to Shakira. Baby girl, I need you to be healthy though.
Don't. Hey, Troy, don't listen to him, man. That's sexual chocolate coming out right there. From Stadium Club, bro. Listen, hey, don't do it. We talking about basketball. She's a ball.
Shout out to her. I said, I
need her to be back on the court, man. Look,
I'm giving her flowers, man. What are you talking about?
I bet you would give her flowers.
That's terrible, man.
Oh man. Hey Troy, man, thanks for being on, man. We appreciate you, brother.
Hey man, I appreciate y'all for having me, man. Look, let's not have it go like a year between takes, man.
Facts. We're gonna do this.
When people catch you though, like you used to be on Reese Waters' show, you used to always be moving.
Look, man, where you at now? We're building something new over at the new ESPN station in DC, ESPN 630. I got a new show over there called the Capitol Hoop Caucus. where we're going to be covering Washington Wizards and Washington Mystics and college basketball in the area. So if people want to, check it out, go look over on ESPN 630 DC.
Awesome, man. Hey, Troy, are we tapping in? We're already tapped in now, bro. It's on now, bro. It's on.
Hey, look, come on now. It's up. Let's get it. I'll hopefully be seeing y'all boys in the future, man.
You know it, man. All right, Troy, man.
Capital One, not me though. But
not me.
I'll be in Capital One. I'll be here.
I'll be baby.
And I'll be in DC trying to see security too and everybody. All right, man. Take it easy. All right, Troy, man. Take it easy,
all right,
bro.
man. Thank you, my brothers. And look, man, it's always a pleasure, man. Y'all boys stay up, man. Thank you.
All right, man. My man. Peace.
Yep.
Troy awesome, bro. Troy is
light-skinned women stuff. I can't believe it. Listen,
dog, man. I'm a fan.
It's crazy. I was thinking about as y'all talk about her. Shakira being at Maryland. Maryland had such a dope squad that had like Ashley Owusu, Angel Reese. That they were deep. It's just Maryland hasn't invested in NIL, so they, Speaking of Rutgers, but that team still made it Sweet 16, things like that. But that team underachieved that had all these dope players anyway. But I'm excited about the WNBA. Actually, I might cover the WNBA this upcoming season.
I think I'm gonna cover it too. I think I'm gonna cover. My schedule's just starting to open up.
Do it the right way though, Wole. You know what I'm saying?
What you mean? I'm doing it
you
right
gotta
way.
If you come with the blazer, I'll be worried, bro. If you come with sweatpants, I'll be excited. Like, okay, Wole's here for the right reason.
I don't wear. Oh yeah, nowadays I do wear sweatpants. Yeah, I wear jeans and like. Yeah, urban sports.
The blazer and the beret. I'm like,
I ain't wearing that.
He's trying to raise these young girls. Man. Like, leave him alone.
Oh, I'm not going to do that, dog. I'm gonna come in with a button up. You know what I'm saying? Like a button up. That's it.
No, not the button up. Not the button up. The crisp pair of jeans and the button up.
A button up, crisp. It's my personality glasses, dog. So they know I'm in
business. The ironing board is right behind you,
I'm an ironer. Hey, I'm ironing, bro. Cologne and everything, my dude. Gotta smell good,
man, that's great. But
ask the questions rather good.
The ladies need to cover, so the urban sports team would be dope to be up in there this coming season.
Matter
of fact, the season is literally starting.
It's literally starting, bro. It's really literally starting. So
shout out to the WNBA. Boom. And I love I love, you know what, that is kind of, Care First is my arena. The parking situation, everything's beautiful there. I have no issues.
3 pieces to a Mystics. Hey, don't doubt. Hey, yo, don't doubt me, homie. Don't do.
Hey, Paul, look at my photo on my Twitter. You know what I'm saying? You see, he had the sweater vest. Man's did it back today. His shoes was clean. He was clean, bro. Like Farnsworth Bentley type stuff. I'm trying to tell you, for real.
It was back in the day. Yeah, man. That was like, nah. You know what? Nah. We chill. We can do this chilling.
What was the point guard again from North Carolina?
I loved her. Ivy.
No, Ivy Latta. Yeah, that's why you dressed like that.
Yeah, I would love me some Ivy Latta. I love me some Ivy Latta. Oh, she was so cool. I was like, oh, snap.
Todd said nasty work. Todd already know this. Hey, Todd, I respect the mess out of Todd. Todd's always keep it real. Todd went to Philly for that Commanders Philly game. Like, he was bold enough to go up in there. Yeah, and nobody messed with him afterwards either.
He's crazy, though. You know what I'm saying?
Todd. Brandywine Taj, man.
Taj for the streets, man. Taj for the streets, dog. I ain't messing with Taj.
Taj be at Costco, man. Getting them $1.50 hot dogs, baby. Let's go.
All I needed was a pocket watch. I did.
The time the Shador. Let's go.
Wasn't she though? Yeah, she was nice. I know. I realized was nice. She was nice.
Hey, listen, stop it, Wole. Stop it. I've been waiting. Ivy Latta doing big things now. She's doing like ACC Network and some other stuff.
Yeah, I see.
Shout out to Ivy Latta. And she was the best interview because she loved to be interviewed.
She did. She was.
I think we still on the YouTube channel.
I think it's on there. Yeah. She's on.
It's the interview you did with her on there with the great mic. She loved the great silver mic. You know.
She loved the great silver mic. You can't be trying to holler.
Exactly. Thank you, Ellison. Tell him do your job. You can't go in there. Look.
I'm just saying. Yeah. I'm just saying she was man. I actually want to go to a game where, dude, I want to go to a game where, shoot. Damn, who's my? Dude, I gotta go to an LA Sparks game.
I wonder if they're nice to
I
you.
wanna
Would
see
that change
Rakia-
things for you? Like, for example, I covered the Legacy Classic with
Rakia
Taylor Rooks,
Jackson.
and she was so
Yeah.
cool. I couldn't even like think about like how
I don't
everybody
know.
looks at Taylor Rooks on the outside. I'm just saying. So you had a professional mindset. You'll be fine, my brother. Trust me.
It's okay. No, I like Rakia Jackson though. That's
Hey, Wole, you can't cover the WNBA.
I can't, dog.
They're gonna ban
No,
you, bro.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know if I can because it's gotten much worse over the years. Like this year, I don't know. That LA Sparks team, I don't know, bro. I don't know if I can cover that.
Oh man.
And Vegas got some
AZ Fudd home. Yeah, next season it would be nice to get AZ Fudd back to DC, my homie. Yes, sir. Yeah, but you know she's trying to build her own legacy. She stayed that one extra season. She's the lead dog now, my brother, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
My people, Taj and Paul, man. It's good to see y'all.
You know what I'm saying? Sure. All right. So yeah, we about to I gotta sleep. I'm tired. I go lie to y'all. I'm delirious. That's why I only have 2 hours. Only had 2 hours of sleep. So y'all got me geeking right now. I geek when I'm sleeping. Now I had to go to work. I had to go to work early, bro. 4 o'clock in the morning. I had to get there 5 o'clock in the morning, bro.
Woo.
And
all right,
with the commute. So yeah.
And the rain made it worse.
And the rain. Come on, you already know. All right, man. Appreciate y'all for pulling up, man. Everybody, it's a good show, man. Great folks in the chat. Y'all was on one. Appreciate y'all. Anyways, also subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. Also tweet us at Urban Sports Scene. Hit us up on IG and TikTok at Urban Sports, and also like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. If you're new to our Urban Sports Scene YouTube channel, please hit that red subscribe button and also like this video. Also, check out our website, which is www.urbansportscene.com. Hey, pregame show is going to have crazy hours. You talking about like that one? Oh yeah, you talking about because the Commanders have a. If you talking about Auburn and go everything, that's gonna be crazy because they have like that overseas game.
I gotta pull up to ABG one of these days, bro.
I'm gonna have them do a show on Thursday.
Chocolate City, I love it, Taj. I love it.
I'm gonna have Glenn and them do a show without me Thursday.
Hey Taj, I know Taj seen shooting guards. I know Taj is doing it. And
Have you seen shooting guards, Taj? Hey, everybody in the chat. Everybody, before we end the show, I need y'all to talk about shooting guards.
Andre Black game.
Bruh.
Andre Black is eating good out there in these streets.
Man, he eating real good. Andre Black eating real good. Life is good for that brother. Life is good.
He looked like Bobby Brown in the Shay Shay interview, right? He was like, man, he ruined it. Hey, Andre Black made it rain. He already know. We know it is. That's what I'm saying.
He made it rain. I'm surprised
this is the most important year right here for the Wiz. Got to get it right.
I'm surprised they had JaVale McGee on that thing.
JaVale McGee probably refused to do it, man. Yeah. Even though he was just as ignorant back then. Taj crazy. Hey Taj, I missed you, my dude, for real.
I'm surprised they had. That's what I'm surprised. That was a nasty. Everybody sell the team. Oh man,
they got Winger and Dawkins. They building it right. I just want the fans to be. I want it to look like. I want it to look like Wall when Wall had the city jumping and Gill for real. I
ain't gonna lie to you. I think the you talking about Kevin Durant. I think that would be a good little PR move for him.
I'll be phenomenal. You talk about Chocolate City? What?
Yeah. That's the only way I feel like this team could actually be like, almost back.
He's the only one from home that can move the needle as much as I like some of the guys from here. I like Jeff Green. I like Markelle, but
none of them move.
They're not gonna move the needle in terms of like fans and all. You might get some faithful folks who rock with these dudes personally, but KD would have Cap One sold out.
Yeah, he would have everybody. He would have all demographics. Put it that way.
Let's go. Let's go, man. Good seeing everybody for real.
All right, man. Appreciate y'all for pulling up. Anyway, you've been listening to the Urban Sports Scene for ages. Ayedig, deuces. We are out.
Peace.